Hey, Yuno and Augusta look like dream additions to the roster. Both are stylish, powerful, 5-star resonators with flashy kits and big hype behind them. But once you peel back the surface, a troubling pattern emerges. These two aren't just strong, they're designed to function almost exclusively with each other. And that's not healthy for the long-term direction of Wuthering Waves. Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta po sa inyong lahat? Take Yuno's forte circuit. Her blessings of the one light skill sounds amazing on paper. Every time the active resonator generates a shield, they gain 4% all damage amplification for 10 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. That's a potential 40% all damage amplification, which is huge. The catch? The buff only triggers when the resonator generates their own shield. Right now, there's really only one unit who can do that consistently, Augusta. And that's where the problem starts to take shape. Augusta's inherent skill, Glory's Favor, generates a shield every time she deals damage. It scales off her max HP, procs every 0.5 seconds, and stacks in a way that perfectly matches Yuno's buff mechanic. No one else in the current roster comes close. Gian can't sell shields. Calchero can't either. Brant and Jianshin technically can, but not at anywhere near Augusta's frequency. So while Yuno is marketed as a universal buffer, in practice, she's almost Augusta exclusive. And that eventually hits players in more ways than one. If you own Augusta, congratulations. You get to unleash her full potential under Yuno's buffs. But if you don't, Yuno suddenly feels watered down. She still brings healing, utility, and some damage, but her kit's real selling point, the shield-triggered amplification, is basically locked behind Augusta. That's not clever synergy, that's forced synergy there. And speaking of being locked in, why would you want to give out your passwords when you do your top-ups? Loot Bar now has a do-it-yourself self-top-up that you can do right on mobile. You can save up to 21% in discounts and even more if you use my link in the description. It's fast, secure, and cheaper than in-game top-ups. Trusted by the community with excellent reviews. Go top up your Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact, HSR, and Zenless Zone Zero with Loot Bar and grab an extra 10% discount through my link in the description. Now, back to the video. It really feels like Kuro built them as a package deal. Augusta's shield are tailor-made for Yuno's buffs and Yuno's buffs are tailor-made to supercharge Augusta's damage. Pull one without the other and you're left holding half the kit. For free-to-play players or low spenders, that's brutal. You're effectively pushed to double dip unlimited banners just to unlock the full experience. Some will say this isn't a problem. More shield-heavy characters will eventually release and Yuno will naturally gain value. But as it stands right now, the message is loud and clear. To get the most out of Yuno, you need Augusta. To get the most out of Augusta, you need Yuno. That's not player choice, that's paywall synergy. Even if we're generous and assume future shielders are on the way, the design philosophy itself is concerning. Will future buffers be hard locked to specific DPS units? Will new DPS units be intentionally underwhelming without one exact support? Instead of expanding possibilities, this kind of design funnels players down narrow, predetermined paths. Theory crafting stops being about creativity and starts being about shopping lists. You got Augusta? Well, great. Your Yuno will work. Don't? Too bad. You just pulled a side-grade healer. Yes, Gacha thrives on synergy, but there's a line between natural synergy and codependence, and Augusta and Yuno are dangerously close to crossing it. By tying Yuno's buffs so tightly to shield generation, Kuro is limiting her flexibility and making her universality feel like an illusion. Augusta is the only unit who truly unlocks her potential, reducing them from independent characters into what feels like a bundled DLC. This puts players in a frustrating spot. Pulling only one risk feeling like wasted resources. Pulling both feels like you were manipulated into it. Skipping them avoids the problem now but sets a precedent that could haunt every future release. What happens when the next buffer only works with one upcoming DPS? Or the next DPS feels crippled without a future support? If Kuro isn't careful, this design trap could damage the long-term health of the game. But there are solutions. Tweaking Yuno's kit so her shields apply at least partial stacks to allies would immediately make her less Augusta dependent without breaking their synergy. Or Kuro could give her outro a secondary universal buff, ensuring she isn't a dead slot outside of Augusta comps. These small adjustments would preserve Augusta's best slot status while still keeping team building flexible. And that's really important because Yuno is one of the most hyped characters yet. She's got the looks, the lore, presence, and the potential to be a top tier support. But if her actual value boils down to works only with Augusta, she risks alienating a huge part of the player base before she even arrives. In fact, if her kit goes live unchanged, some players might be better off skipping her altogether. I mean, Mortifi paired with Shorekeeper and Augusta can already 3-star the second floor of the middle tower of adversity. So why sink resources into a unit who only shines when chained up to one specific partner? Fortunately, Yuno's outro has arrow and heavy attack buffs for my boy Gian, so that's enough reason for me to pull for her. At the end of the day, synergy should feel rewarding, not mandatory. Augusta and Yuno together are undeniably strong, but if Kuro keeps designing characters that feel incomplete without each other, then these hype banners could end up being remembered as the biggest mistake Wuthering Waves has made so far. And speaking of mistakes, don't make one on your next top-up. Go check out my link in the description for my additional 10% discount with Loot Bar and save on your next top-up. Also, please support my new Wuthering Waves channel, Vector Wuwa, for more game-related discussions. The link is also in the description. So yeah, what do you guys think? Is Kuro limiting team building synergies with super specific kits that only seem to fit specific characters? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And if this video resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already yet. Ring that delicious notification bell so you never miss my future uploads, whether it's breakdowns, guides, or spicy takes like this one. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, good luck with your polls and may RNG bless you. Goodbye.